the expectation of me being a girl boss is actually not going to play out the way that I thought it would be. All of these things that you wouldn't necessarily think about or have to talk about because you're just focused on your own life.
I'm not as self-aware as I thought I was. She's been able to tell me, like, you're lacking some self-awareness.
I know, man, passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. Times, I know I'll be okay.
And welcome to our channel. My name is Alex.
And I'm Troy.
We make videos all about marriage and our lives here in Orange County, California. Today we are making a video all about all of the things that we wish we knew before we got married. We're actually only sharing a few, not all of the things we wish we knew. We just left church. It's currently 1:42 p.m. This morning we kind of had a slow morning.
Played basketball this morning.
Okay, so right now we're about to get lunch, but before we do that, I'm gonna start off with thing number one that I wish I knew before getting married. I was not designed to be what we know as a girl boss. Now, what I mean by this is that I don't mean that I, as a woman, can't do big things. I can't run a company. I can't work. I can't do life-changing things. That is not what I mean. A woman can do that. But what I'm saying is I'm not designed to operate the same as a man. Getting married has actually brought that into a more tangible realization. We got married when the day before I turned 29, so I'm currently 29. I'm in my late 20s, about to turn 30, and we're having conversations about starting a family, about having kids one day. The reality is I am the one that's gonna birth these children and is probably going to want to take care of them at home and like be with them most of the day. I really desire to be a mom. I desire to be able to homeschool if we want to homeschool, if we want to go that route. I definitely want to have my own business one day. I want to be able to do really, really cool things, and we're working on that. But I would say that that is the number one thing that I've learned now being married is the expectation of me being a girl boss is actually not going to play out the way that I thought it would be. My body literally started shutting down on itself after like going, trying to be a perfectionist, trying to keep up with men in the sense of like working the same way that they did and operating the same way. Cortisol levels, stress levels start increasing, fertility issues might start appearing. That happened with me. I'm not a doctor, so y'all do your own research. I would say that is the number one thing I wish I knew before getting married was I am made to operate differently than Troy, and he's created differently than me. And so how could we in unison be married and have a family and family plan and think about our future? How could both of us come into that in a different way, but the way that we were created? And the second thing that I wish I knew before getting married was that married people should actually have married friends. And so the reason why I say that is because I legitimately would get annoyed and just be confused when I would see a married couple or somebody get married and then it seemed like they disappeared off the face of the earth and they got a new friend group and you just start seeing them around less. But honestly, now being married, it makes sense. Like, we need married people because we're learning new things. We are literally experiencing something that we haven't experienced before. We're having conversations of what does our family stand for? What do we want to build? How do we want a family plan? How do we want to raise kids? Where do we want to live? All of these things that you wouldn't necessarily think about or have to talk about as a single person, because you're just focused on your own life, and not necessarily in a bad way. You're just in a whole different season of life where you don't have a married partner. And so to be able to have married friends and like invite them over at the house and be able to hang out together, go on trips together, and all of these things is honestly what we really desire, and that just doesn't always work out practically only with single friends, if that makes sense. So it's like a both and, but that is one thing that I wish I knew before getting married. And then another thing to add to the second point that I made, Troy and I were just talking about it, I think it was a good point, was that the lifestyle is completely different than a single person. So as a single person, you're focused on you and your life and what you want to do, and that's again totally fine. But for example, if somebody invites us out to eat, like even something as simple as that, we can't necessarily just be like, oh yeah, sure, and then not think about our spouse. You know what I mean? Like, we have somebody that we're doing life with, you have to check up with them. Like, hey, is it okay if I do this? I'm not going to be home tonight. Me as a wife, like, who generally cooks, and I love doing that, I'm not going to be going out to eat with my friends just randomly, because I committed to like cooking for my husband, and I take on a lot of those household duties. Again, I love doing that, but just practically it doesn't work to have the same lifestyle as a single person. So just being friends with a married couple, you're just able to relate and like not have to explain yourself to this married couple, if that makes sense. Whereas if we had a lot of single friends and they were inviting us to different events or to go out to eat or to hang out with us, whatever, we would just constantly be disappointing people.
I'm starving. Now it's time to go get some acai bowls, get some coffee, and I'll get you guys my point just in a little bit.
Ever felt? Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
That's it. This acai bowl is wonderful. I got strawberries, banana, granola. I usually go blueberry. Not blueberry. I already said blueberry. I usually go banana, but no banana because I had one this morning. A little bit of almond butter and honey. So one of the things I wish I would have known before getting married was that I'm not as self-aware as I thought I was. And I've just been able to learn a lot from my wife Alex, and her being able to point out certain things that I might do or certain things that I might even say. And through therapy as well, I've been able to see certain things from my past that have just contributed to the way that I do things now. For me, it might be coming from a place of feeling like insecure in the past. So then now I might stutter through some words, or I might not come across as self-confident. And I've had Alex she's been able to tell me like, you're lacking some self-awareness. And now I've gotten to this place with just, again, with doing therapy, to see like, oh man, I have to be able to look back into my story to see why I do the things that I do. And so that's been one of the things that I've learned the most, is that I'm not as self-aware as I thought I was, but I will be self-aware. Thank you guys for watching all the way through this video. Thank you for listening to all the things that we wish we would have learned before getting married. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next week. Peace from Life with the Marrows. And hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. Peace.
Okay.